Hey, what's up, brothers and sisters? Figure we do a little chill, little vibey, little little touch the soul, little R&B kind of episode here at the Barely Useful Association. And I'm thinking Adepta Sororitas. I know fuck all about the Sisters of Battle. I don't know a damn thing. I know they have they have power armor. Not Astartes power armor, but they have power armor. They are trained to fucking hell and back. And they are badass. That is all of the knowledge I have within my brain. So, on the Warhammer 40k Lexiconum, you want info, they got them. Alright, reading off of it. And let's go ahead and just kind of jump right in. The Adepta Sororitas, also known as the Sisterhood or Daughters of the Emperor, are an all-female subdivision of the religious organization known as the Ecclesiarchy, or Ministorum. The Sisterhood's orders militant... Yeah, it says orders militant. I thought it was ordos. Alright, well, the Sisters' orders militant serve as the Ecclesiarchy's fighting arm, mercilessly rooting out corruption and heresy within humanity and every organization of the Adeptus Terra. The terms Adepta Sororitas and Sisters of Battle are commonly assumed to mean the same thing, but the latter title technically refers only to the order's militant, the military arm of the organization, which is the largest and the best known part of the Sororitas. We're going to just go ahead and keep continuing because, it doesn't tell us too much. Alright, overview. The Sisterhood serves as the Ministorum's only official military force because the degree passive rules that the Ecclesiarchy cannot maintain any men under arms. This was supposed to limit the power of the Ecclesiarchy. However, the Ministorum were able to circumvent this decree by using the all-female force of the Sisterhood. There's naturally some overlap between the duties of the Sisterhood and the Inquisition for this reason. Although the Inquisition and the Sisterhood remain entirely separate organizations, the orders militant of the Sisterhood are the go-to favored option when an Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor needs soldiers. So that's pretty cool. I don't think Space Marines are too green for go ahead Inquisitor. Don't think Space Marines by and large really love the Inquisition. It's interesting that the Ordo Hereticus Inquisitors could recruit from the Ordo's militant of the Sisterhood. Religious ass. It's just nuns with guns, bro. Fucking hey. Oh man, nuns with guns. That's great. The founding, the history. Daughters of the Emperor. The Adepta Sororitas were officially founded in the 36th millennium, and more specifically during the later age of apostasy. However, they trace their origins to an older all-female warrior cult known as the Daughters of the Emperor, based on the world of San Lior. This cult was dedicated to worship of the Emperor and the study of martial arts. The Daughters were fairly isolated from the wider Imperium, but there are accounts which suggest that they did not stay on San Lior all the time. For instance, Imperial scholars believe that Saint Sabat was linked to the Daughters of the Emperor in some way. It is possible that the Daughters fought for her in the Sabat worlds. Regardless, the Daughters of the Emperor remained a small sect and mostly unknown cult until they were discovered by the spies of Goj Vandire, the High Lord of the Administrasum, and also Ecclesiarch of the Adeptus Ministorum. Realizing their potential usefulness, he decided to visit San Lior and recruit the Daughters into his own private army. The Daughters at first refused to accept his authority. Vandire decided to show them that he was blessed by the Emperor. He instructed a soldier and his entourage to shoot him, which after a brief hesitation, he did. However, thanks to the protective field generated by the Rosarius of the Ecclesiarch, which no one but Vandire himself was aware of, Vandire was not harmed. So, the daughters took this to be a sign and swore allegiance to Vandire virtually on the spot. They were renamed the Brides of the Emperor and became Vandire's most loyal followers. Revelation and Retribution. During the siege of the ecclesiarchal palace, the Adeptus Custodes, the Praetorians of the Emperor himself, motherfucker, tried to approach the brides and convince them of Vandire's treachery. In a last-ditch effort to convince them, the Custodes took Alicia Dominica, leader of the brides, and her chosen bodyguards deep into the imperial palace, where they stood before the emperor himself. What happened there remains unknown. Dominica and her companions were sworn to secrecy, but it became clear that the brides who reverted to the titles of daughters of the emperor had been awakened to the evil that Vandire represented. Marching into his audience chamber, Dominica paused only to condemn Vandire for his crimes before she beheaded the power-crazed dictator. Reportedly, Vandire's final words were, "I don't have time to die, I'm too busy." Reformation. After this episode, the newly appointed ecclesiarch Sebastian Thor proclaimed the decree passive, which forbade the ecclesiarchy from having men under arms. Under the literal interpretation of the decree, the Adeptus Sororitas, being female, were not obligated to disband. Thor, recognizing the need for the ecclesiarchy to have some kind of force and internal regulator, allowed them to remain even if the spirit of the decree was rather blatantly disregarded. Wow. Structure and hierarchy. The Adeptus Sororitas is part of the ecclesiarchy and is divided between two convents, the Convent Prioris, located on Terra, and the Convent Sanctorum, based on Ophelia 7, although in practice their forces are spread throughout the galaxy. The overall commander and spiritual leader of the entire sisterhood is the Abbess of the Adeptus Sororitas. As the leader of the Adeptus Sororitas, the Abbess is sometimes elected into the High Lords of Terra. Below the Abbess are the Prioris of the two convents, who are in charge of their convent and the various orders based there. The convents of the sisterhood are organized into several orders. There are two different kind of orders: the Orders Militant and or Sisters of Battle. The military arm of the ecclesiarchy, composed of the 6 major orders and countless subsidiary lesser orders, militant, and the non-militant orders, each of which has different roles and responsibilities in the Imperium. That is so fucking hard to just say, bro. That shit ain't form-fitted to the human mouth. That is horrific. They need to brush that shit the fuck up, man. Alright. The largest of the non-militant orders rival the Sisters of Battle in size and notoriety, but there is also hundreds of other orders, the vast majority of which are unknown to the bulk of mankind. The most well-known are the Ordos Hospitaler. I'm just gonna say Ordos. Orders. It just sounds better. Ordos Hospitaler, composed of surgeons, physicians, and nurses. The Ordos Dialogus, scholars dealing with languages, ciphers, and translations. And the Ordos Famulus, acting as diplomats, chamberlains, and advisors for imperial noble families. That's badass, bro. Imagine a show following like a young man with a badass like sister battle bodyguard, or like, well, you know, like a Ordos or Order Famulus, like a sister of battle bitch. That'd be dope. Let's continue. It is not uncommon for a sister to transfer from one of the orders to another, particularly if a battle sister has become injured or is too old for combat. They may transfer to one of the non-militant orders. Each of the major orders follow the same basic hierarchical structure. Okay. The order is led by the head canonist, called the Canonist Superior, who runs the entire order. The Preceptory is a subsidiary subsidiary convent or a large tactical detachment with up to 1,000 sisters led by a canoness per preceptor. The commandery is a normally smaller convent or detachment of militant sisters with up to 200 sisters, led by a canoness commander. And a mission, which is the smallest organization of sisters, consists of a few units and can be led by a canoness or their lesser palatine. It could be noted that the non-militant orders operate mainly at mission and commandery levels. Preceptory is a largely organizational tier. For example, a commandery of the Order Hospitaller could be a staff of sisters working in a field hospital, whilst a mission of the Order Famulus could be a handful of sisters engaged in a trade delegation. I assume that'd work like... That does not seem played up at all, bro. They should make a book on that. Like, imagine the political stress, struggle, and like dialogue, having like 5 like order, like sisters of the Order Famulus, all trying to keep a world from going into like an apocalyptic civil war. Not because of chaos or nothing, just because they don't fucking like each other. Just, like, they're both down to pay tithe to the like Imperium, but they're just like, I want the other's head, you know. And then have the whole thing be like, you know, these like Order of the Famulus or whatever, got 5 or 6 sisters are trying to hold these pieces together, because if it does go to that fucked up war, then they'll just get swallowed up by it and die anyways. So it's like a battle for their life, doing their own job, you know. That's the intensity of everything in Warhammer 40k to me, you know. Like, everything already fucking matters, you know, already. Somebody makes a gun, it goes into the open market, ammo open market, you know, he did a thing, and it's like, oh. But just the overall, even mundane operation, and to the huge population extent that the Imperium has as a whole, even the mundaneness of it, how much mundaneness there is, how mundane everything even horrible is, because it just happens so much. Like, everything has a palpable weight in this like time where a galaxy could just fucking crack and just fall apart. And you have these real small parts, you know, cogs in the machine, man. And the sisters, I'm glad, I'm definitely glad that the sisters have these, like, it almost operates like Space Marines, you know? Like the Order, Preceptory, Commandery, Mission type shit with how many. It's like chapters. It's like chapters of Space Marines. So, that'd be pretty cool, man. I should look into that shit. Well, okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you for listening. I guess you could be watching. Thank you for listening. And if you did watching, all right, little kiss for you, okay? I'm glad to do it, doing what I am. I'm not too sure what my next Barely Useful is going to be, or if I might focus on another. I really should do another short story or something, like write another short story. But thank you so much for listening. If you liked it, like the video, because then that'll make me, you know, I might get a little, I might blush. I might get a little horny. All right. But yeah, like the video if you enjoyed. Glad to make it. Any ideas you have, throw it in the comments. Throw shit my way. You know what I'm saying? Criticism breeds improvement. You know, and the Warhammer 40k community really needs to improve right now. We got like both eyes are black and they swole because Games Workshop just keeps domestically just beating our ass, boy. But I hope y'all enjoyed and have a fantastic day, my brothers and sisters.